Good morning from Egypt. The long-awaited full opening of the Grand Egyptian Museum is finally here. But before you go inside, I wanted to show you what cameras and gear you're allowed to bring inside, as well as give you a detailed tour of the museum as it stands now, so that you can have a full idea and a sense of the layout of the museum before you enter. Currently, only the VIPs are being granted access inside, but in 2 days' time, on November 4th, it will be fully open to the public and we'll be able to see the never seen before King Tutankhamun Gallery, as well as the Solar Boat Gallery. I, of course, will be there on opening day to film it all, so subscribe for that. But for now, let's just find out what we're allowed to bring inside and get a look at the rest of the museum. What you are allowed to bring inside the museum are action cameras, DSLR cameras, and mobile phones. Some prohibited items include large bags or backpacks exceeding 44 centimeters. Those must be stored in the locker room at the Grand Egyptian Museum. Weapons and sharp objects are of course prohibited. Food and drinks are not permitted in the galleries except for small water bottles. Flashlights, laser pointers, flash photography, and live streaming are also not allowed. Tripods, monopods, selfie sticks, drones, and external lighting and recording equipment are also prohibited. You can find this information on the official GEM website with even more detailed regulations after purchasing your ticket. The museum is open 7 days a week from 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. except for Wednesdays and Saturdays, where it is open from 8:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. The last ticket purchase and gallery opening times vary slightly, so double check the GEM website to confirm before you go. Tickets can be bought online or at the door. And there are also some exemptions for pricing, which you can also find on their website, such as free admission for visitors with disabilities, free admission for children under the age of 6, and foreign spouses of Egyptians who are allowed to buy the Egyptian admission pass. Today, we'll be exploring the Great Hall, the Grand Staircase, the 12 main galleries, as well as the retail and dining section of the museum. In my upcoming video, which we'll release in a few days, if filming is allowed in these new areas, I will be showing the King Tutankhamun galleries, as well as the King Khufu Solar Boat Gallery, and possible new sections of the museum that have never been seen before. We'll just have to find out. I also do plan on filming the new walkway that leads from the Grand Egyptian Museum to the Pyramids of Giza. So if you're interested in seeing that, turn on notifications. But anyways, enough chatter. Let's just get down to the Grand Egyptian Museum and explore. Yalla bina.
Standing at the edge of the Giza Plateau, where the ancient pyramids rise against the desert sky, the Grand Egyptian Museum emerges as the largest museum in the world dedicated to a single civilization, ancient Egypt. After 2 decades of anticipation, this colossal museum has finally fully opened all of its galleries, inviting us to step into 5,000 years of history under one monumental roof. As we approach the museum, the striking sight of the hanging obelisk of Ramses II immediately captures our attention. Originally unearthed in Tanis, a historic site in the Nile Delta, this remarkable monument now stands suspended above the ground on a 4-legged pedestal, allowing visitors to walk beneath it and admire the hidden inscriptions and royal cartouche carved into its base. Surrounding the pedestal, the word Egypt is inscribed in dozens of languages, symbolizing a warm welcome to visitors from all around the world. After entering the gem, we step into the Great Hall, where we're immediately greeted by the magnificent 11-meter statue of Ramses II. Dating back to the 19th dynasty, over 3,200 years ago, this colossal figure is carved from solid red granite. It was discovered in 1820 at Mi'rahina, or ancient Memphis, broken into 6 pieces. The statue was restored in Cairo in 1955 and stood in Ramses Square until 2006, when it was moved into storage over concerns of pollution and damage. In 2018, it was finally transferred to the Gem, where it now stands proudly in the Atrium for all to behold. Ramses II, also known as Ramses the Great, was one of ancient Egypt's most powerful and celebrated pharaohs. He commissioned massive building projects, including the Abu Simbel temples and parts of the Karnak and Luxor temples, and led the Battle of Kadesh against the Hittites, one of history's earliest recorded battles, later signing the world's first known peace treaty. Having over 100 children and leaving behind more statues and monuments than any other pharaoh, he's often seen as the symbol of Egypt's power and grandeur during its peak. Just before Ramses, to the right and left of the main entrance, you will find information desks with friendly and helpful staff, as well as restrooms. Past the restrooms is a section of staircase lined with 10 statues of seated pharaohs. These statues are depictions of the same pharaoh, King Senusret I, who was a powerful pharaoh of Egypt's Middle Kingdom, ruling roughly 3,950 years ago. These statues were discovered in Lisht in the late 19th century and were likely meant for the mortuary temple of Senusret I, though, when found, were hidden in a cache, likely to protect them, and later recovered and put on display in various museums before being moved to the Gem. Just to the right of the statues of Senusret is a second section of the staircase, at the bottom of which you'll find a table map of Egypt, highlighting archaeological sites along the Nile River. Sites such as Abu Simbel in the south near the border with Sudan, the Temple of Horus in Edfu, the Karnak Temple in Luxor, the Temple of Hathor in Dendera, the Temple of Sobek in Fayum, the Giza Pyramids, the Great Temple of Amun in Tanis, and the royal city of Alexandria lying along the Mediterranean Sea. Beyond the table map, the second section of the staircase is unadorned until you reach the top, where an information panel presents a list of royal throne names and their many cartouches, spanning from the earliest dynastic period all the way to the Roman era. This impressive king list originates from the private tomb chapel of an overseer named Tenroy in Saqqara, near the ancient capital of Memphis, and several of its original pieces can be seen here on display. The final section of the staircase is known as the Grand Staircase, which we'll be ascending shortly. At its base, you'll find a tactile table panel displaying small 3D printed replicas of several pharaohs featured on the staircase. Beneath each figure is Braille text, allowing visually impaired visitors to experience the form and presence of these statues through touch. Just to the right of the Braille panel is an elevator, available for visitors with disabilities, along with a moving walkway for easier access up the grand staircase. The grand staircase is not just a passageway. It's a monumental journey through time, divided into 4 distinct zones, each celebrating a different facet of ancient Egyptian civilization. The first section, known as the Royal Image, is devoted to the power and majesty of Egypt's kings. Here you'll encounter a collection of royal statues, each embodying the divine authority and eternal strength that defined Egyptian kingship. Their features are idealized, their poses formal and commanding, reflecting how ancient Egyptians saw their rulers not merely as mortals, but as living gods, charged with maintaining order and harmony on earth. You'll find statues such as the seated image of King Amenhotep III, which was discovered at his mortuary cult temple in Thebes. A statue of Queen Hatshepsut, one of the few surviving statues of her from her mortuary temple in Thebes, or modern-day Luxor. A statue head of King Akhenaten in the Amarna artistic style, which was unique to this time in Egyptian history. As we reached the first platform, we entered the Divine Houses section and are met with the columns and lintel of Sahur, which were found at his mortuary temple at Abu Sir, near Saqqara. His temple is one of the best preserved examples of Old Kingdom temple architecture and dates back roughly 4,500 years. This is the doorway of King Amenemhat I, dating back to the Middle Kingdom and made of solid granite. And this is the Sphinx of King Amenemhat III, dating back 3,800 years and found in Tanis, a village in the Nile Delta. Here is an offering table to the god Amun-Ra, divided into 2 parts to represent Upper and Lower Egypt. An obelisk of King Meremta, discovered in Tukh near Kaha. Here we have an obelisk tip of Queen Hatshepsut, made of red granite and found at Karnak in the ancient city of Thebes. This obelisk tip was commissioned by Queen Hatshepsut, who had 2 obelisks at Karnak. However, King Thutmose III, her stepson and nephew, later removed her images and royal name. The hands of the god Amun, who were originally touching her shoulders, are now holding a scepter and ankh instead. A few steps over, a pair of palmiform columns, originally carved during the Old Kingdom, were re-inscribed and reused by Ramses II during the New Kingdom in Tanis. This nails was carved from a single block of sandstone and belonged to King Ramses II. It was found by the side of a processional way at the Great Amun Temple in Tanis and is covered in scenes of Ramses making offerings to the gods. Having reached the second platform, we can see other nails such as the naos of King Nectanebo II, who was the last native Egyptian king to rule before Egypt was conquered by the Persians. This intricately carved column is from around 110 BCE and belonged to King Ptolemy IX. Now we have entered the section of gods and kings, dedicated to ancient Egypt's divine rulers and the gods they were associated with. It highlights the close connection between pharaohs and the divine realm, showing how kingship was not only a political role, but a sacred one as well. What we are looking at now is a 3,377-year-old statue of Sekhmet, one of the most powerful goddesses in ancient Egypt. She was the daughter of Ra and was associated with fire, destruction, and healing. Her dual nature, destroyer and healer, reflect the Egyptian belief in maintaining cosmic balance, destruction, and a path to renewal. Her priests were among Egypt's most skilled healers. The next statue over is of Ptah, the creator god who conceived the world through thought and speech, and was discovered in Memphis. It is more than 3,200 years old. Walking a few steps up, we see the statues of Sekhmet and Ptah once again, with Ramses II positioned in the middle. This statue dates from around 1113 BCE. Aside from the statues of gods and kings, we can also find stelae in this section of the staircase. Stelae are stone slabs covered in inscriptions or reliefs, and would often include hieroglyphic texts, scenes of gods or kings, or records of important events. They could be placed in tombs to honor the dead, celebrate building projects, commemorate events such as military victories, or be left in temples as offerings to the gods. This stela of King Ramses II describes in vivid detail how, during a stroll through the desert, he discovered a massive block of quartzite, longer than an obelisk, and how he generously rewarded the skilled stoneworkers who carved it into colossal statues. This stela from Ramses IV is dedicated to Osiris and mentions how Ramses IV brought back justice to the land after his father, King Ramses III, was murdered. This stela praises the fighting skills of Ramses II and his defeat of the enemies of Egypt, and reads, "The land is in fear of him. The chiefs are crushed before him. Their bodies are limp. Terror of him is in their hearts. Their bodies are broken." From the 19th dynasty, discovered at the Great Temple of Amun in Tanis. This statue head of the goddess Hathor originally formed the top of an architectural feature called a Hathor column. She had the ears of a cow and a small shrine containing a cobra on her head. The complete column represented a musical rattle called a sistrum that was shaken by women during religious rituals. Dating from the Ptolemaic period, discovered in the Eastern Delta. We have now reached the final section of the staircase, titled Journey to Eternity, where sarcophagi and a pyramidion adorn the steps. A pyramidion is a small, pyramid-shaped capstone that once crowned the top of a pyramid or obelisk. This particular pyramidion was discovered in Saada and dates to the 13th dynasty, around 3,700 years ago. Its surface is rough and undecorated, and since no inscriptions or names were found at the site, the identity of the king for whom the pyramid was built remains a mystery. This sarcophagus of a royal scribe was found near Malawi in Middle Egypt and dates back to the year 1186 BCE. The sarcophagus of King Thutmose I was discovered in tomb KV38 in the Valley of the Kings, Luxor. Thutmose I was the first pharaoh to be buried in the valley, and his original tomb was described by an ancient architect. However, his remains were later moved and reburied with his grandson, Thutmose III, who commissioned this magnificent sarcophagus for him. And now we have arrived at the very top of the grand staircase, where visitors are rewarded with a breathtaking view of the Great Pyramids of Giza themselves, framed majestically through vast floor-to-ceiling windows that connect the museum's interior to the desert plateau beyond. Turning away from the pyramids, we head left into the 12 main galleries. These galleries cover around 18,000 square meters and explore ancient Egyptian history through the three themes of society, kingship, and beliefs. The galleries are organized both chronologically and thematically. Chronologically, from the pre-dynastic period all the way to the late Greco-Roman period, and thematically, with each time period divided into sections devoted to society, another to kingship, and the last to beliefs. I won't be exploring the galleries in this video, as I've already made a separate video dedicated to the 12 main galleries in great detail. If you'd like to watch that, you can find the link in the top right corner or in the description of the video. For now, here's just a quick glimpse of what you'll find in that video. Between 6000 and 5000 BC, the climate became drier, forcing nomadic people to move closer to sources of water in the Nile Valley. This shift to a more settled life led to cultivating land, growing crops, raising animals, and catching fish. In the second gallery, which is dedicated to the kingship from these early periods, we can see items such as flint spearheads, arrowheads and blades, and combs, one with a decorative hippopotamus at the top. These items from the Qadha II period were discovered in Tomb 72 in Hierakonpolis. Back down on the first platform of the grand staircase, and just to the right of the moving walkway and elevator, you will find the Mixed Reality Hall. For £200, you can enjoy a short 10 to 15 minute holographic experience where you wear a HoloLens while standing and observing several tables with virtual images and digital overlays that explore topics like burial and pyramid building. I was not allowed to film the experience, but I personally found it enlightening and enjoyable, and can recommend it. As we head back down to the Great Hall, I'd like to mention, if you are planning a trip to Egypt and are looking for a reliable guide or driver, my husband and I can help. My husband is Egyptian, and I have been living here for 4 years and have explored all over the country. Together, we use our combined experience and local knowledge to craft personalized itineraries and connect visitors with passionate guides and expert drivers, ensuring an unforgettable experience in this ancient and beautiful country we love so much. If you'd like to learn more, feel free to reach out to us on WhatsApp. The number is in the description of the video. Back down in the Great Hall, and on the other side of the main entrance, there is an outside space, which I wasn't able to explore while filming this video, but we will soon see in my next video, where we will explore the new galleries and spaces now open in the gem. Next to the Great Hall is a retail and dining zone with numerous restaurants, such as Zuba, a popular Egyptian restaurant chain that reimagines traditional Egyptian street food with a modern gourmet twist. Ideal for people who'd like to sample street flavors without venturing to the street itself. There's 30 North, an upscale coffee chain serving specialty coffee sourced from different coffee growing regions around the world. Another dining option is Bittersweet, an Egyptian chain that describes themselves as an upscale social house and serves breakfast, brunch, sandwiches, pizzas, pastas, and desserts. You'll also find a Starbucks, places serving gelato, stores selling natural body care and beauty products, and more cafes like Mandarin Khuwader, a famous Egyptian dessert shop known for their oriental sweets. After passing through the commercial area, we reach an open atrium where another colossal statue of Ramses II can be found, wearing the white crown of Upper Egypt. You can see his daughter is shown by his legs. The statue is made of quartzite and dates to around the year 1279 BCE. After passing the statue of Ramses, we find yet another cafe. This one is Bino's and is a popular Egyptian cafe and coffee house chain, known for its casual atmosphere, good coffee, and wide cafe-style menu. We find a stray Egyptian baladi dog, and more shops in a retail area, selling handmade rugs and carpets, as well as shops selling jewelry. We then enter the Great Hall once again and are back where we started.
And that is an overview of the Grand Egyptian Museum. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, give it a big like. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in a few days for the full opening to the public. Ma salama.